Welcome to SWX Tonight, everyone. I'm Keith Mulder. Take a look at the new home of the Big Sky Conference tourney. Boise, Idaho is both where the Montana and Montana State men's basketball teams battle today, hoping to survive in advance and keep their dreams of an NCAA tournament berth alive. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening. A lot to get to on this Thursday night, and we'll lead it off with the nightcap game from Boise, which featured Montana State battling in the quarterfinals. Montana State and Eastern Washington with a trip to the semis on the line. The story of the first half, MSU Calvin Blevins, who puts the biscuit in the basket from deep downtown. He had 14 and a half, but the Cats couldn't stop Mason Peatling, though. He had 19 and a half. Then watch this ridiculous shot by Tyler Hall. Call him Jerry Seinfeld because are you joking me? Later in the first half, 2-point MSU lead. Kelvin Blevins blocked by Peatling, really the only defensive play in that first half. But check it out on the next one. Harold Frey doing what he does best, making a tough shot look easy. Quite nice for him, though. Cats up by 1. Second half we go. Things still tight. Final minute, Cats down by 4, and Kelvin Blevins, oh baby. Moments later, though, Tyler Hall has the chance to win the game. In his senior year, is there still enough magic left? The shot from downtown, off the mark. Eagles escape with the W, 90-84 the final. And our Big Sky Conference coverage is just beginning tonight. Still to come, we'll hear from Sean Rainey live in Boise to recap what he saw in today's action, plus a look ahead to tomorrow's semifinals. We also have NAIA highlights from the Women's National Tournament in Billings, Providence, Rocky, and Carroll. All had opening round games today, plus we'll check in with Bobcats football. Keep it right here on SWX Tonight.
Last thing they saw on the board before we went out was play hard, play smart, play together.
I said it before, this is what our season really comes down to, these 3 games in the conference tournament. So, being my last one, it's just about leaving everything out there on the floor. You don't want to have any regrets when it's all over. So just getting to a good start was a key for me, and just, playing with passion and energy. When you do that, you usually like the results, you like what happens when you leave everything on the floor. So that was really my focus going into the game.
We had four guys in double figures, 21 assists. Kind of tells the tale, the way we share the ball, the way we play together offensively. I think feeds into our defensive concepts in terms of playing together. Sometimes you feel a lot better when you know you've got guys that have been here before. And, these guys have been going to war all year long. It's been a long season, a lot of adversity. And I think the grit that the adversity creates for us paid off in this one today.
Huge win for the Grizzlies today as #1 seed Montana down Sacramento State 79-73 in today's quarterfinal round. Thanks to our very own Sean Rainey and Joe Lassar for bringing us those sights and sounds from down in Boise. And speaking of Mr. Rainey, he's been in Boise since Sunday, keeping us up to date on all the tournament happenings. Let's go to him live now for a tournament update.
Yeah, welcome to Boise, everyone. Sean Rainey, joined by my good friend Ryan Tutel from ESPN Radio. And
hello, Sean.
What a night, man. That was crazy. We literally just got done with the press conference and raced down here. Check out the set and everything. We're looking good.
Hardwood. Everything's nice here.
So Montana State, it was kind of a back and forth game, and then they got down double digits, but they crawled all the way back, and Tyler Hall had the ball in his hands with a chance to either tie or go ahead, and I think that's probably what you would want, but they end up losing by 6.
Yeah, well, if you watch this game, you'll look probably at the last possession there and say, okay, well, it came down to that, and Tyler Hall a questionable shot, but he's obviously the guy that you want shooting the basketball. But really, I think on the boards, Montana State -11 on the rebounding ratio, and give credit to Eastern Washington. They did a great job defensively and especially shutting down Harold Frey. I mean, you have to consider, I think 6 shots total for Harold Frey this evening. That's a recipe for success for an opponent of Montana State. Keldon Blevins had a great game. He played really well. I don't want to disparage him in any way, but if he's shooting 15 three-pointers, that's a bad recipe for the Bobcats.
Yeah, they wanted everybody else besides Tyler Hall and Harold Frey to beat them.
Correct.
And that was kind of what they did, and they were able to survive and advance. As for the morning game at noon, the Griz took on Sac State. Their shooting guard got injured yesterday, and so they were kind of shorthanded. Montana really played well defensively early, and then it felt like they were just in control throughout.
Montana came into the game absolutely dialed, and you could tell sort of the veteran presence of the team as a whole. And they were ready to go and kind of prove a point. I think there's been some questions about this team coming down the stretch especially, and you could see the veteran group, Michael Ogine leading that group, saying, it's tournament time, it's a different story for us, and we're going to be just fine. Now, give Sacramento State credit. Marcus Graves, 30 points tonight, phenomenal, but Montana was not going to be denied.
Yeah, Montana, the lead dwindled at one point, and Coach Shakir said he was very happy that he had that experience down here in Boise. Michael Ogine, last year's tournament champion, was ready and locked in, and so were the Montana Grizzlies to start this game. Saeed Pridgett just named a first-team all-conference player. Nice little move there, showing you why. He had 16 points tonight despite being in foul trouble, and Ogine was really attacking the rack all game long. He had a team-high 19 points as Montana was up double digits early, but Marcus Graves, the senior for Sac State, did not want to end his career without putting up a fight. He had 30 points tonight. Montana up double digits at half. Every single time that they kind of got the lead to 15 or 20, the Hornets would answer back, but eventually Montana just too much, and they get the 79-73 win. Head coach Travis Shakir saying a lot of it because they have the experience and the guys who have played in this tournament atmosphere before.
Sometimes you feel a lot better when you know you've got guys that have been here before. And, these guys have been going to war all year long. It's been a long season, a lot of adversity. And I think that the grit that the adversity creates for us paid off in this one today.
Okay, so the Griz advance, and Ryan, we were kind of joking during the Weber State-Portland State game, like, if you're a Griz fan, who do you want to win that game, and who do you want them to play? Because you're 0-2 against Portland State, but they're kind of the lesser-known team, and then 2-0 against Weber, but kind of have the names and the talent. It ends up being Weber, so what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that Weber is the second most talented team in the Big Sky Conference, and I think it's not actually that close. And so Weber has had struggles down the stretch, the nature of which I don't totally understand. I think a lot of people are perplexed by this Weber State team.
Maybe.
Right, exactly. But when you talk about in a one-game scenario, like what the Big Sky Conference tournament is, they are as dangerous as absolutely anybody. I think tomorrow is a huge game. I don't think it's too strong to say that tomorrow might be the game for the whole championship. So Montana Weber State, the matchup that I think is a pretty great one.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of kind of last year when the Griz played Northern Colorado in the semifinals, and that, looking back, kind of was the de facto championship game. But yeah, Southern Utah pulling off the upset over Northern Colorado, so it's going to be Southern Utah and Eastern on the other side of the bracket. But Montana, it seemed to me that the question marks were, could they flip the switch and turn it on? And it looked like they could. That was against a lesser Sac State team, but we have about 20 seconds. Do you think that they can do that against Weber?
Well, I do. Here's the thing. Look at the 2 games against Weber this year. They got out to huge leads early. Then Weber cut into that late in the first half and then came all the way back, and it was a one-possession game down the stretch. Same thing happened today with Sacramento State. I mean, the Griz were up 21 points in the first half. 8-0 run to end the half by Sacramento State. Montana has great talent, has a great veteran presence, but they have had this narrative throughout. They will need to finish that off against Weber tomorrow.
All right, 5:30 tomorrow for Ryan Tutel. I'm Sean Rainey, live here in Boise. We'll be right back after this.
Thanks so much, Sean. So we're down to the final 4 games of the tournament now, with the men's semifinals taking place tomorrow night. That one will be Montana against Weber State, as mentioned by Sean, and Southern Utah against Eastern Washington. But tomorrow afternoon, one team from the women's bracket will punch their ticket to the big dance. And none of the top 3 seeds, interestingly enough, will be in that battle. Instead, we have Eastern Washington and Portland State as the last 2 teams standing. The Vikings swept both regular season meetings with the Eagles by an average of 15.5 points per game. Tomorrow's title tilt tips off at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. As to the Big Sky, Boise rolls on this week, which, by the way, is the first year that CenturyLink Arena has been the home of the conference tournament. 4 days are in the books with 2 more to go this week.